What's up everyone, Jonathan here with the Venue RX, and if you're anything like me, you know how crazy busy life has been and your business may have been just with executing all of the business that has been stacked up through 2020 and now into 2021, but then of course also booking business into 2022 and in some cases 2023 as well. And you know, it's really hard to spend the time needed to focus on, let alone even think about employee culture. But without focusing on employee culture, you cannot grow your company. You cannot have the type of company that we all want to have. And more importantly, you're going to be stuck in a never-ending cycle of doing all the jobs yourself because you haven't been able to clearly define and create a company culture that supports hiring the type of employees that can allow you to step back and focus on just doing the things that you love. So without further ado, let's dive right into this very important topic. It's one of my favorites and I can't wait. So let's get started. All right, so let's jump right in to a discussion about creating amazing employee culture as a small business owner in the wedding and events industry. And like I said in the intro, it's so difficult to focus on this when, you know, we as business owners are running everywhere, putting out fires. You know, we are responding to clients, we're handling things. And as the owner, you have that passion for your business, you have that drive, you have that standard of excellence. And it's so hard, and it's a common complaint I hear from business owners in this space that the people that they hire just don't do that great of a job. You know, their hearts just aren't into it. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, really creating a type of culture that you can hire people and then set them free in the business to actually execute the things that you're supposed to be doing and the promises that you've made to your clients. The first step that we're going to talk about today is kind of a no-brainer. You probably have heard this before, but it's do a good job in hiring. And what do I mean by this? Now, the first part of this really is being very, very clear on what you're looking for in an employee. As small business owners, we often wear so many hats, and it's really tricky because, you know, we might be wearing 7 or 8 different hats, and we're looking to hire someone to take a few of those hats off of our heads and free us up to do some of the things that we know we should be doing as business owners. The problem with this is the job descriptions that we generally put out there are really, really general, and we're just kind of looking for someone who can come in, step in, and know what to do. And this is a total fiction. This does not exist out there in most cases. And so really being very specific, sharpening your pencil and getting into the details, exactly what you're looking for is really, really important. Let me give you a quick example. If you're looking for someone to do marketing, you need to be very specific on exactly what type of marketing you're looking for them to do. So are you looking for them to post on social media? Are you looking for them to write blogs? Are you looking for them to manage paid ads, right? On Facebook or Google, SEO, right? Organic SEO, keywords. What are you specifically looking for this person to do? When you're very clear on that right in the beginning, it will help you to get better candidates. Now, the flip side of this, for me at least, is hiring very fast. And I know people have said, you know, hire slow, you know, so that you really can get to know a person. I think in the dating phase, which is kind of the interview phase for employees, you know, when you're just trying to get to know somebody, it's very, very difficult to understand exactly who this person is. And so I love hiring very quickly, but then in tandem also firing quickly. The thing that happens, I think, between the hire and the fire, if that does need to occur, is you as the business owner being extremely clear. Again, clarity is a topic that I'm, you know, kind of coming back to here, but being really clear, but also being really honest. You know, if you're feeling some way about an employee, you need to communicate to that to them and let them know that you feel like they're dropping the ball. And you need to do this in a very respectful way and a very clear way. Again, clarity. You need to do this in a very clear way because it's not fair to them if you are having these thoughts in your head of, you know, they're not doing a good job, there's no attention to detail, et cetera, and you're not communicating it. We as business owners, we're gonna know within a couple of weeks. I know within 2 to 3 weeks, and I start having this gut feeling about the performance of the person. I've hired multiple people who I thought were amazing, and then they just didn't end up turning out because after that 2nd or 3rd week, I really started to see performance slipping. I started to see kind of their natural, normal self coming out, not the dressed up version of themselves that came in the interview. And so I think that's really, really important to note kind of as a first thing. Now, as a hot tip here, you can actually know a lot about someone by giving them small little tasks and watching every single little detail of their words, their actions, pretty much everything that they're giving you as far as clues go in the beginning of the interview process. So what does this mean? This means you're looking at how easy it is for you to get a hold of them. Do they respond well through email? What about text? What about calls? Do you call and when they don't pick up, do they have a voicemail that's set up, or is their inbox, or their voicemail completely full? You can start picking up little things about a person based on how they present themselves to you. And it's some of those little things that maybe we make excuses for in our minds. But if someone, takes a long time to get back on email, maybe their voicemail box is full, they text back very quickly, and then they say they're gonna have no problem managing an inbox, you might say, that seems kind of counterintuitive because they have shown you through their actions that they love texting, they're not so great on email, and they're never checking their voicemail. So very, very important clues here to kind of be looking out for as you have this person coming into your company. All right, wow, that was a long first tip, but it was very important. It's just being clear, hiring fast, be honest, and then fire fast. Point number 2 is investing in them. And again, for some of us business owners, it's just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to take the time to do that necessarily, or it feels like a waste of time. But spending that social time, spending the time with the team member to really connect with them on a personal level makes such a difference. And you're not just connecting with them because you want to hurry up and get to the work. You're actually connecting with them because you care about them as a human being and as a person. Ask questions about their family, ask questions about the things that they're passionate about. You have to really get into a mindset that this person is coming into your business with a whole set of hopes, dreams, aspirations, things that they're interested in that are in a lot of cases completely outside of your company. And so getting out of that self-centered mindset and into their head, into an empathetic approach towards who they are, really will help earn respect in their minds for you and who you are as a leader of the company. Number 3 is don't expect them to act like an owner. I think so often we as small business owners, we take such massive responsibility and ownership over everything that we do, but then we're surprised when someone who we hire for $15, $16, $18 an hour doesn't come along and do the same thing themselves. And I think that's really audacious. I think that as small business owners, we need to understand that we are raising this baby, and this business that we're raising, right, is going to be most important to us. And so it is very audacious for us to assume that paying someone $20 an hour is going to get them to have the same level of care. More than likely, the amount of care, attention, passion, and drive they put towards your business is going to be based off of intangible things, not just the pay rate, right? It's going to be based on how they feel that they can respect you as a leader, how confident they feel in you that you're heading in the right direction, the respect that you've earned by giving them the tools they need to accomplish the job that you've asked them to do. Some of these things are very, very important to actually gain the respect. Again, coming back to the respect that is needed to get them to take that ownership. So just don't expect them right out of the gate to take personal ownership over the company. Expect them to do a good job, maybe uphold a standard of excellence that you've communicated, but you are really in this to earn their respect as a leader, and you're in this to show an example of what taking personal ownership over their work is. And that's the important distinction here. You're not looking for them to own the business. You're looking for them to own the quality of work that they do. I want to make a totally separate video on this because I think this is really, really important. And this we're kind of looking at from a high level, but this is super, super important. Number 4 completely relates to this because it is the process by which you can, as the business owner, show them how they can take ownership over their specific role or department. And you really want this. You really want to encourage someone to do this because people like things that are theirs, right? And if you allow them to own the role and you don't step on their toes and you clearly set metrics for success for them, and then you allow them to, use their ideas and the things that they think would be effective in getting stuff done, and not jumping all over their back when they get it wrong. When you allow them that freedom and when you hire amazing people and then set them loose to do the job that you have asked them to do, amazing, amazing, amazing things happen, I promise. So I know it's tough as a business owner. You don't want to relinquish control. You want to hold tightly onto the control, and it's hard to let that go. And especially it's hard to let it go when you know that they aren't going to do as good of a job. But the fact of the matter is that's what we have to do as business owners to continue growing our companies. And so making sure that we have acknowledged in our minds that we're going to release control and then just doing a better job of, with humility and with care and kindness and empathy, helping coach these people who are now in our company. Number 5, and wrapping up here, is just making sure that the company culture and values are absolutely crystal clear. clear. And I'm coming back to this concept of clarity again because it is so important. I mean, if your employees, if the people who work for you don't know what your company culture is based on vision statements, values, however you decide to do it in your company, a mission statement, whatever it happens to be, your employees should know exactly what those values are, what those pillars of culture are. However you're gonna do it in your company, they need to know it, and they need to know it verbatim. And this is so important because if you haven't taken the time to clearly lay out what these are, and you've listed 20 important categories that include things like integrity and hard work and all this different stuff, but they don't know and they don't understand and they can't recite it to you, basically you've completely wasted your time, and all of that culture and the values are out the door, and the culture and values that are there are a hodgepodge of things that are made up and left over from past employers that they've had, stuff that they've picked up from you that you aren't even aware that you're communicating, and so many other different kind of external forces that are coming to bear and creating a culture that you're not in charge of. So number 5, just seeking clarity around what your company values are, writing them down, and then periodically and regularly reviewing them with your team to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video today. Company culture is so important, and it's really the key that unlocks freedom for us entrepreneurs. And freedom in so many cases is what we set out for, and what is kind of the end of entrepreneurship and being a small business owner. This is a retirement plan for some of us. This is how we're going to make our money. And so being able to hire people, being able to retain amazing talent, and keep those people on your team even when times are tough, even when COVID is in the mix and other things are happening, it is so important to treat the people that you have on your team correctly, and to be able to have an amazing culture so that those employees that you have are willing to refer the job and positions that open up to their friends and their family and other people in their circles when those do come available. So I wish you the best of luck, the best success as you're growing your company. Feel free to drop me a comment if this has been helpful to you, and subscribe. I'd absolutely love that. We'll see you in the next video.